If you're planning on attending protests this month, you need a first aid kit. And if you've been going to protests and you don't have one, now's the time to learn how to put one together. It's going to look like this, okay? It's got some stuff in it. You need to know how to use it. This stuff is not Band-Aids and Tylenol. It's treating gunshot wounds, car accidents, all right? This is for major injuries where you're trying to keep somebody alive long enough to get to the hospital. Let's go through it. I'm just going to run through this thing front to back, okay? As you would be accessing it in an emergency. This is how I have everything laid out. All right, first, in the side pocket, you got a tourniquet. You need one of these. If somebody gets shot in an extremity and they're bleeding out, they will die if you don't put one of these on them. You can keep this on a limb for like 6 hours before they're at risk of amputation, okay? So you're gonna be just fine. And I have a video on how to use this specifically in my playlist that's called Field Medicine. Check that out. Second thing, trauma shears, all right? If somebody gets shot up in the leg, you need to cut their pants off, and this is what you're gonna do it with, all right? You don't have time to waste. This bag is called an IFAK pouch, infantry first aid kit. It rips open real fast, okay? You're not messing with straps or buttons. You just tear that motherfucker open. But I'm gonna run you through what I got in the kit, all right? We're going front to back. First thing, rubber gloves, okay? And you actually don't want black like this because it's hard to see blood on them. Bring a couple pairs, and if you have the time, when you start working on somebody, glove up. It's gonna protect them, it's gonna protect you. And have a couple pairs. God forbid you're working on more than one person, you want to be able to throw a new pair on so you're not cross-contaminating. Inside pocket, second tourniquet, all right? Hogs like to shoot a lot of people at once. A Sharpie to go with the tourniquets to write the time that you put it on. If you forget this, in the military, they write it in blood on each other. That's a little hardcore, but you can do that in a pinch. This is 12 feet of compressed packing gauze from North American Rescue. If somebody's got a deep wound like a gunshot to a junctional site, especially somewhere where you can't apply a tourniquet, you need to bust this out and pack it into the wound. You got to find where that blood is coming from and just press this shit in there. You can get a hemostatic gauze too with a clotting agent. I don't have it in my kit because really pressure's the game changer, but that doesn't hurt. It's just a lot more expensive. This is a compression bandage, also called an Israeli bandage. I know. Basically, it's got some plastic hardware on there so you can wrap it around and double it back on itself and just crank a ton of downward pressure into a wound to slow bleeding down or to secure a bunch of gauze that you've packed that you don't want to move. These are NPAs, nasopharyngeal airways. Basically, it's a tube that you slide down into somebody's nose if their breathing's obstructed, and there's a time and place to do this. If they've got like major mouth injuries or something and they're not able to breathe through their nose, this is a good way to do it. For a penetrating wound to the chest cavity, like a bullet, you need vented chest seals. These are an occlusive dressing, which basically just means it's a seal. Put one where it went in and one where it went out, and they're vented, and that allows trapped air to escape but doesn't let more air come in. And then here in my little pockets, I've got two things that are also really important. This is a space blanket. It's one of those Mylar blankets that you take camping. When people go into shock, their body temperature drops really fast. And you can go hypothermic on a pretty hot day. So if I have to work on somebody, I like to put this over them to keep their core temperature up, all right? And then this right here is called a RATS tourniquet. In some cases, this Cat Gen 7 is just too bulky to effectively stop blood flow if somebody's really skinny or if it's like an animal. So I keep one of these too. They're a little more technical to use, but again, in my playlist on Field Medicine, I do a step-by-step of how to apply one of these, and it's a good idea to keep one in your kit. And last but not least, and I know this is a little melodramatic, one of these is never a bad idea, okay? Never buy steel plates. Those will get you killed. You want a composite material, and you can usually get a cheap loadout for a few $100, all right? That's if you're that guy. And if you are going to be that guy, put some rainbow shit on there so people know what team you're on, because tactical gear can freak people out. Final thoughts. Man, when you're buying this stuff, buy 2 or 3 of everything so that you can practice with it. You want to be able to just rip this thing open and go. Okay, you want it on autopilot, because when you get in a high stress situation where somebody's bleeding out, you don't have time to think about stuff. You just need to know. So practice with this shit while you're watching TV. Please go take the Stop the Bleed course that I have the sign up link for in my bio. They have dummies there. They're going to teach you how to pack a wound. You're going to stick your finger in a fake leg and learn how to do it. Major blood loss is the #1 preventable cause of death in this country. That isn't like cigarettes or something, okay? This is shit that will save a life if you ever need it, okay? Please learn how to do it. All of these products and brands and everything are going to be listed down in the comments. And if there's any more paramedics, EMTs, ex-military guys that want to throw stuff in the comments, please do it, all right? Share your knowledge. We got to keep each other safe out here.